All right, let me start by saying I will be completely surprised if people actually see this video. But anyways, since we're the ones funding this situation, we certainly don't want to be the ones broadcasting it. Anywho, guys, I'm talking about the global Samud Flotilla, okay? And that's basically, I'm sure you guys have seen this all over the news, but I want to go over not just what's happening, but what is getting ready to happen, all right? So basically you have the 50 boats, right? And that's from countries like Tunisia, Malaysia, Turkey, Greece, a whole host of countries. Don't worry, none of them the United States. And they're basically carrying 500 people. That's everybody from doctors, lawyers, humanitarians, etc. And they are carrying aid, obviously, food, medicine, clothing, water, all of those things. All right, so that's the what. All right. And then there was a situation in Italy. So the rest of the world is sort of starting to go like, hey, yeah, we're not really cool with what's happening over there at the plaza, okay? Which is what I'm calling it, so that this video has even a chance of making it onto your FYP, okay? So they're like, hey, we're not cool with what's happening at the plaza. We're not really here for the whole situation that's happening. All right. So people in Italy, I think it was dock workers, they basically said, look, if you do not send their version of naval destroyers, okay? The big, huge vessels, all right? To sail along the sides of this flotilla to protect it from who, then we're basically gonna physically obstruct the ports so that y'all can't make any money. And Italy was like, okay, bet. So they sent a ship. I don't know why Spain threw their hat in the mix. Doesn't matter. They did. And then using flight data, I have confirmed, I saw some reports, I wanted to confirm it, that there are Turkish reconnaissance drones in the air above this flotilla. So think of like the 50 ships that are in the water, okay? And then you have the ships that are flanking them on the sides, protecting them. And now you have the Turkish reconnaissance drones in the air above them, because who keeps sending Israeli drones. Now, of course, they can't prove that it's them, but who the hell else would be doing it? All right. So that takes us on to the situation of what is shaping up. So what normally happens is when these flotillas have tried to get past the Israeli blockade, they basically, they board them and then they take their stuff, and sometimes they were taking the people and all the things. All right. And I should mention that under the Geneva Convention rules, okay, you cannot, if you are an occupying force, you cannot block aid. All right. That is against that's all human rights violations, high war crimes, all the things. All right. So that's the first of many problems, but I don't want to turn this into a legal conversation. But I want to say that there is legal merit for this flotilla to attempt to bypass this blockade. And of course they're saying, the people with the eye, they're saying, well, we're doing it because it's a security issue, because we don't want hummus bringing pew-pews into the plaza. Okay. Y'all understand what I'm saying, right? Y'all feel me. You're smart. Okay. So that's what's going on the ground, so to speak, in the water. So here's what's going to happen when they come up against this blockade from all right, one of two things is going to happen, okay? So that I's biggest backer is the U.S., all right? So we're complicit in what's happening there, all right? But now, to complicate the matter, all right, so before you have like apolitical, right, humanitarian vessels in the water that aren't really attached specifically to any formal, they're part of organizations, but they're not part of militaries, if you feel what I'm saying, all right? They're just civilian vessels, okay? That in international water, which again further complicates the matter. But now you have civilian vessels along with military vessels in the water, and those military vessels are from NATO allied countries, okay? So then you have a problem. What's going to happen is, who, okay, is he really going to just be like, I'm all in, I'm going for it, I'm going to go ahead and attack these NATO allied military vessels, all right? Because if he does that presents its own set of problems, all right? Or is he going to back off, and is he going to let the aid through? So, the world should have their eyes on that flotilla. Everyone should be watching as much as possible, so that who with the eye knows. The world is watching what you're doing to this flotilla. And their scheduled arrival date, from the best I can understand, was yesterday. At the latest confirmed point I could get was that they were like 400 miles away from the plaza, but that was yesterday. So, obviously they've moved forward from that. from what I'm understanding, the anticipated arrival date will be somewhere between 1 and 4 October. Of course, that's if they don't have other issues. I did just confirm that one of the forward vessels, I think it was the lead vessel in the flotilla, was damaged beyond repair and can no longer continue. So that's already one. And of course, they'll take those assets and just, move them onto other boats or whatever. But guys, let's keep our attention on this, because obviously it's shameful beyond measure that not only is the U.S. not doing anything, not sending any aid, but that worse than that, we're complicit in this what. So anyways, I really hope this video makes it to you guys, and hope you share it, because I just want to do everything that I can do to just keep eyes on that flotilla. If you're the type of person that prays, throw one up to the big guy, because that aid really needs to get through. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll come back if I have any updates.